Welcome. Today we're stepping into, well, the shadows of the unexplained. We're exploring stories where the very fabric of reality seems to fray. These aren't just curious anecdotes, they are accounts that really blur that stark line between our sleeping minds and the waking world. They can leave you with a profound sense of, disquiet.
It's a fascinating area. It's
Yeah.
like our subconscious might sometimes brush against something far beyond our usual understanding.
Honestly.
And these narratives, they compel us to consider that maybe dreams aren't just echoes of our day.
Right.
Sometimes, perhaps, they're a startling glimpse into what might be.
Absolutely. Our first story, it plunges us right into a childhood nightmare, one that refused to stay in the past. At just 10 years old, the narrator started having this recurring dream about their own death.
At 10. That's young for such a theme.
Very young. And they recalled specific unsettling details, like looking through a window frame but from the outside, seeing an orange jacket on a chair inside, making a motion, like ascending a ladder rung, and then falling, plummeting at least 3 stories. The dream always ended the same way, lying on the ground, seeing a wooden ladder leaning against the house, the source of the fall.
And the vividness is often key in these accounts.
It was shocking, apparently. These weren't hazy images. They could smell the air, feel the sun, and the pain of the fall. Excruciatingly real, they said. Then, around age 11, the dreams just stopped, vanished, faded completely from memory until decades later.
Forgotten, but perhaps stored somewhere deep down.
Seems like it. So fast forward 22 years. The narrator is 33 now. They're helping a friend, Jerry, build his barn-style house. One Sunday, Jerry calls. Needs help sealing an unsealed window up on the 3rd floor before a storm rolls in. Jerry had to leave, so the narrator agreed, yeah, I'll handle it. So they arrive, find the caulking gun, and then look for a ladder. Jerry had 2. But the wooden one, it was already leaning against the house right there by the unsealed window.
Convenient? Or
Something else. Well, exactly. As they propped it up properly and started to climb, this chilling wave of recognition just washed over them. Peering through the window, an electric fear, they described it, seized them. The smell, the warm sun, Jerry's orange hunting jacket on a chair inside, every single detail matched that forgotten childhood nightmare, down to the very sensation of being there.
And that specific alignment, the detail matching across decades, that's what's truly unsettling here. This isn't just some vague feeling of deja vu. It's almost like a photographic recall of a future moment.
Yeah.
It points towards what some in parapsychology might call a veridical dream, a dream that seems to accurately reflect future events. It really challenges our whole linear perception of time, doesn't it? Suggests maybe a deeper, unconscious awareness of what's coming.
And the terror was immediate for the narrator, because they knew in the dream the next step that led to the fall. So they scrambled back down the ladder fast, profoundly disturbed. They ended up sealing the window from the inside, but admitted it was, well, kind of a rush job. Their mind was just reeling, tried to put it behind them. But the story wasn't quite over.
There's more.
Yeah. The following weekend, Jerry calls again, asking for help shingling the roof this time. When the narrator arrives, Jerry's limping. He explains he rolled his ankle. A rung on his wooden ladder broke. He'd only been a few feet up, thankfully, so it wasn't serious. But for the narrator, it was a gut punch.
Understandably, the connection is undeniable.
Absolutely. Outwardly, they kept it cool, but inside, a wreck. Not only had the dream predicted the ladder breaking, but then the narrator realized the most chilling part. They had climbed the ladder upside down.
Upside down?
Yes, which meant for them that defective rung would have been near the top, much higher up. Jerry, though, must have flipped it right side up later, making that weak rung near the bottom for him. The thought that they'd been shown this warning, had felt the danger, and yet someone else still got hurt by that same ladder. It haunts them deeply.
It raises a difficult question, doesn't it? If the subconscious can access such specific future information, what purpose does it serve if the warning isn't fully understood or if the outcome seems fixed, or at least partially fixed? Is it a glimpse of a predetermined past, or maybe a mutable one we can sometimes influence?
An unnerving question, definitely. From that kind of long-range premonition, we turn now to something, well, even more immediate. A terrifying blurring of sleep and wakefulness. A story about a head-on collision narrowly avoided. Years ago, the narrator and their fiancé were driving home after visiting her parents in a storm. She was driving, narrator in the passenger seat. It was pitch black out. Visibility was terrible.
Dangerous conditions.
Very. Everything seemed normal, though. Radio on, chatting. Then, instantaneously, everything shifted. Without feeling tired, without even closing their eyes, the narrator suddenly found themselves in a dream state. Like I'd never experienced it before, they said. What was so unsettling was the dream setting was identical to reality. Still in the passenger seat, fiancé driving. Then another car comes around a bend. Way too fast. Fiancé doesn't react quick enough. Head-on collision.
Oh, wow.
While awake, or seemingly awake. Seemingly awake, but instantly in this vivid dream, and it was terrifyingly realistic. The narrator saw themselves, saw their fiancé from outside their own body, yet they could still feel themselves dying, experiencing this. Coldness and a strange emptiness and loss. They saw the two teenagers in the other car too, in the same state. It was brutally graphic, coherent, not like normal, jumbled dream logic. The moment they knew they were dead in the dream, as things started to fade to black, they woke up. Snapped back, instantly. Back in the car, fiancé still driving. On the exact section of road from the dream, and up ahead, a car comes around the bend. It was the same car from the dream, coming too far past the center line. It passed them, barely missing a head-on smash, just inches away. The narrator felt profoundly that the line between dream and reality somehow blurred that night, that they'd somehow escaped a terrible fate glimpsed just months before.
That vividness, the lack of conscious effort, coupled with the near-identical event immediately after, it points to what some researchers call a crisis warning dream. It's like the brain, maybe in some altered state we don't understand, processes a potential future threat. It creates this immediate visceral experience, almost a simulation. It really raises profound questions about our consciousness, how close it might be at times to a dream state and its capacity to perceive imminent danger.
It certainly makes you wonder about the mind's protective instincts, doesn't it? Our next story involves an even more explicit intervention, a life-saving one, seemingly from beyond the veil. Shortly after her grandfather passed away, a woman named Heather and her mother moved into a new home. Within about a week of his passing, Heather had a dream. The phone rang. It was her deceased grandfather.
A common theme in grief dreams, but this sounds different.
It was. His voice was clear. "Hey, Heather, do you know who this is?"
Even in the dream, Heather knew he had passed. He apparently laughed, then his tone changed. Urgent. "I don't have much time," he said. "Can I speak to your mom?" Heather ran in the dream to give her mom the phone, but she dropped it. The call disconnected. The next day, Heather told her mom about this strange dream. Her mom got this very serious look on her face. And then she revealed that her grandfather had called her in a dream too.
The same night.
It seems so. And his message to the mom was even more direct, more urgent. "I don't have much time," he told her mom. "I need you to turn off Heather's heater."
Specific. Actionable.
Exactly. Without a moment's hesitation, the mom went straight into Heather's room. What she found was horrifying. Heather's old plug-in heater, which had actually belonged to the grandfather, and Heather used it every night. It was literally shooting out flames.
Good heavens.
A truly life-saving discovery. This whole experience, profound and chilling, became what they call a sacred story in their family. Gives them chills every time they retell it, understandably. And here we see something akin to what's often termed a crisis apparition, maybe, or perhaps a form of postmortem communication. But the key is the specific actionable warning, delivered clearly to two individuals independently, right, which then leads to a direct physical intervention that averts a very real, imminent danger. It's just a connection, doesn't it? Something that transcends our usual understanding of life and death, intervening directly.
It really makes you ponder those bonds, the ones that seem to persist even after physical absence. Our next account also involves an urgent, unsettling premonition. But this time, it came from a friend, far away. When the narrator was 15, their stepfather was stabbed right in front of them.
Oh, wow.
Truly horrific. It was 2 a.m. An altercation in the street woke the house. The stepfather and uncle went out to intervene in a fight between an older neighbor and a young man. In the chaos, the stepfather was stabbed, stumbled back onto the porch, fell. His blood actually smeared the front of the narrator's shirt as they tried to catch him. The young man fled. They called 911, spent all night at the hospital. When the narrator and their mom finally got home, exhausted, there was a message on their answering machine. It was a friend from school, crying, apologizing for calling so late. She said she'd just woken up from this incredibly vivid dream. In the dream, there was screaming, a fight, and the narrator was covered in blood. She begged them to call her back, worried sick.
And the timing.
The chilling part, the timestamp on the answering machine message, it was the exact time of the stabbing. This was the late 80s, remember? Before widespread computers, no cell phones, really. They lived on opposite sides of town. There was just no way she could have known what had actually happened.
The synchronicity is, well, it's unnerving, isn't it? It suggests maybe a form of telepathic dream, or perhaps some kind of deep empathic connection that bypasses physical distance. especially potent during moments of extreme crisis. How one mind could possibly perceive the trauma unfolding for another with such precise timing and vividness. It's still one of the most compelling mysteries, really.
It's like you said, an invisible thread connecting us sometimes, passing information in ways we just don't grasp yet. The next story is brief, but it carries a similarly somber, predictive weight, delivered, again, by someone deceased. The narrator was telling a friend about a dream they'd had. In this dream, their mutual friend, Bill, who had passed away, appeared. Bill was just leaning his elbow on a desk, sort of casual, but with this cryptic air, and he said, "I'm waiting on the red-haired woman."
Specific description.
Very specific. And as the narrator recounted this dream to their friend, another friend who happened to be standing nearby overheard. This second friend became noticeably upset. The reason? This second friend, who had never even met Bill, she had long red hair.
Wow.
It gets worse. Just a few months later, the red-haired woman was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and tragically, she didn't survive.
Wow. That account, even in its stark simplicity, it speaks volumes about symbolic premonition, perhaps. A message, seemingly from beyond, delivered in a dream, cryptically identifying someone, a future victim, essentially. And then it unfolds in reality. It forces us to consider if fate can be glimpsed, if there are unseen connections between those who've passed and those still here, if certain thresholds are somehow anticipated.
The quiet power of that one is, truly chilling.
Yeah.
Our final story tonight, though, delves into something far older, far darker. It hints at a generational entity, maybe even a deeply entrenched family curse. We'll call the person involved Jones. Around 1998, when Jones was a child, he loved gaming, often snuck out of his room past curfew to play down in the basement. One night while playing, he heard this loud thud from one of the basement windows, the kind just above ground level. He looked up, and he saw, first a hand, bright red, almost pink, covered in hair. And then this grotesque face popped into view, oddly colored eyes, long misshapen nose, and a too big smile.
Truly terrifying imagery for a child.
Absolutely. Jones immediately started screaming, shouting. After some time, his father came rushing downstairs with a gun, and apparently his father saw the thing as well. The father started shouting at the creature, "He's too young, he doesn't need this yet." Then he ran outside and fired off a few shots.
The father recognized it, knew what it was.
It seems so. That phrase, "he doesn't need this yet." Very telling. Anyway, 10 years passed, no incidents. Then around 2008, Jones, now an adult, started having strange dreams about the same creature. In these dreams, the creature was just sitting on a rafter in his dad's workshop, pointing down at Jones and grinning like a madman the entire time. These dreams happened for about 3 days straight and then suddenly stopped.
Ominous.
Very. Shortly after the dream stopped, Jones was called out of school. He found out his father had killed himself. He had hanged himself from a rafter in his shop.
Oh no. The place from the dream.
The exact place. Later, Jones was talking with his grandmother, trying to process everything. And this dark family secret came out. She told him that the creature from his childhood and his recent dreams, it's something that all the men in their family see, eventually. She explained that some men are strong and they resist it, they don't kill themselves, but others cave and do. And this has been going on, she said, for a long time, ever since their family first came to America.
That's a profound shift. We've moved from individual premonitions or warnings to something systemic, deeply rooted. This account touches on concepts, well, maybe generational trauma, but also potentially an ancestral entity, a familial entity, like a psychic inheritance that predisposes members of this family line to a specific dark influence. It implies a shared, recurring paranormal experience across time, affecting the lives and deaths of these men.
These stories, each one disturbing in its own way, they certainly make us question the very boundaries of our understanding, don't they? What profound connections might lie hidden deep in our minds, or maybe even beyond them? They challenge our perception of reality, the straightforward flow of time, the limits of consciousness.
And it leaves us with this enduring mystery, really. Are dreams just reflections, echoes of our inner world? Or do they, sometimes, serve as a window into something much more profound, a reality yet to unfold, perhaps? Or an insight into unseen forces playing out in our lives? The consistency, the predictive power in some of these accounts, it's truly difficult to just dismiss outright.
We hope these accounts have given you, our listeners, much to consider. Perhaps they'll inspire you to look at your own dreams with new eyes. Until next time, stay curious about the mysteries lurking in your own mind. And maybe think twice about what your dreams might be trying to tell you. If you found this deep dive compelling, please do consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to our show Horror Docs for more explorations into the unexplained.